They don't chase attention, they don't need validation, and they don't perform for approval. Sigma empaths walk through the world differently, quietly, intentionally, and with a kind of peace that can't be bought by applause. While others seek to be liked, they seek to be aligned. Their calm isn't indifference, it's mastery. It's the realization that peace gives them more power than popularity ever could. They see how easily people trade authenticity for attention, how voices get louder just to be heard, while truth gets quieter just to survive. Sigma empaths don't play that game. They choose depth over noise, solitude over the spotlight, and impact over image, because they know real power isn't about being seen, it's about being centered. This video dives deep into why Sigma empaths choose peace even when it costs them social approval, and why that very choice makes them magnetic in ways others can't understand. If you're someone who's tired of being misunderstood for your calmness or labeled cold just because you protect your energy, you'll feel seen in this one. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to Brainy Empath, where peace isn't weakness and awareness is your greatest strength. Now tell me in the comments, do you think peace is something you find or something you create? Authenticity over approval? For the Sigma empath, authenticity isn't a choice, it's survival. They've spent too many years twisting themselves into versions that fit others' comfort zones, only to realize it costs them their peace. They've learned that the moment they start performing, they stop being. In a world where popularity often demands conformity, the Sigma empath quietly rebels by staying real. They'd rather walk alone in truth than be applauded for pretending. Their authenticity isn't loud or showy, it's steady, grounded, and magnetic in a way that can't be faked. When they speak, people listen not because their words are perfect, but because they mean them. The Sigma empath has seen how easy it is to lose yourself chasing approval. Every compliment that once boosted their ego now feels hollow compared to the quiet satisfaction of staying aligned with who they are. They understand that peace isn't found in being liked, it's found in being known, even if only by a few. So they move through life with a calm defiance, refusing to edit themselves for acceptance. They don't overshare, they don't over-explain, and they don't chase validation that was never theirs to begin with. This authenticity makes others uncomfortable because it exposes what's fake. People used to manipulating perception can't stand someone who doesn't play the game. But the Sigma empath doesn't need to defend their choices. Their life speaks for them. They've discovered that staying true to their principles costs less than pretending to be someone else. The peace that comes from alignment is priceless, and no amount of popularity can replace it. In the end, they choose solitude over social approval because they know peace lasts longer than applause. They understand that being authentic might lose them people, but it will never lose themselves. And that, to the Sigma empath, is the purest kind of success. Living in truth, even if the world looks away. Emotional autonomy as freedom. For the Sigma empath, freedom isn't found in doing whatever they want, it's in feeling without being controlled by those feelings. Emotional autonomy is their quiet superpower, born from years of being drained by the moods, chaos, and expectations of others. They've learned the hard way that absorbing everyone's emotions doesn't make them kind, it makes them exhausted. So they begin building invisible boundaries, not walls, but filters. They no longer take responsibility for emotions they didn't create. They stopped rescuing people who refused to swim, and in that decision, they found something deeper than happiness: peace. When a Sigma empath detaches emotionally, it's not coldness, it's clarity. They see through manipulation masked as love, through guilt disguised as care. They can love someone deeply while still refusing to be consumed by their storms. This emotional independence makes them unpredictable to those who rely on control. Because the Sigma empath no longer reacts, they respond. That pause between stimulus and reaction is their sanctuary. In that silence, they decide what deserves their energy and what does not. Others mistake their calm for indifference, not realizing it's the result of years spent reclaiming their emotional space. The Sigma empath doesn't shut people out, they simply stop letting everyone in. Their heart still feels everything: joy, pain, empathy, but it's now guided by self-awareness rather than obligation. They've replaced overgiving with emotional discernment, knowing that not every battle deserves their light. This autonomy transforms them. They begin walking through life untethered, immune to emotional manipulation, steady in their peace and firm in their truth. They understand that real freedom isn't escaping others, it's mastering themselves. Because when no one else can dictate how they feel, they become unstoppable. For this Sigma empath, emotional autonomy is liberation. It's the quiet, powerful declaration that says, I choose what enters my peace. It's not isolation, it's elevation. And once they reach this state, no amount of guilt, chaos, or noise can pull them back into dependency. They've finally learned to hold space for others without losing space for themselves. And that's the kind of freedom most people never find. Selective energy investment. For the Sigma empath, energy is sacred. They've learned that not everyone deserves their attention, and not every situation requires their emotional presence. Their empathy used to be wide open. They poured themselves into people who only took. Situations that drained and relationships that never grew. But experience taught them a truth they can't unsee. Energy is currency, and where it flows determines the quality of their life. So now they invest it with precision. They don't chase anymore, they observe. They no longer feel obligated to fix what's broken or comfort those who thrive on chaos. Instead, they read the energy in the room like a book. Where they sense alignment, they engage deeply. Where they sense imbalance, they retreat quietly. This selective engagement isn't cold, it's wise. It's the result of years spent mistaking empathy for responsibility. Now they understand that caring doesn't mean sacrificing. They can love someone and still choose distance. What confuses others is how the Sigma empath can disconnect so gracefully. They don't fight, they don't explain, they simply vanish from what no longer resonates. Their silence isn't passive, it's protective. It's their way of keeping their vibration clean in a world that feeds on reaction. The people who used to manipulate their kindness find themselves powerless now because the Sigma empath's attention has become the most valuable thing they own, and they guard it like oxygen. Their life becomes lighter, clearer, and more intentional. They give less, but what they give carries more weight. Every yes means something because it's rooted in alignment, not obligation. They've realized that energy invested in the wrong places is energy stolen from the right ones, from creativity, peace, and purpose. Selective energy investment is how the Sigma empath thrives. It's their quiet rebellion against a world that glorifies burnout. They no longer spread themselves thin, trying to save everyone. They save their strength for the few who truly see them. And in doing so, they stop merely surviving and start creating a life that reflects their depth, not their depletion. The inner compass of integrity. For the Sigma empath, integrity isn't just a moral code, it's their internal navigation system. It's the quiet, unshakable voice that guides every decision, even when no one's watching. In a world driven by image, shortcuts, and social masks, their integrity becomes both their armor and their burden. They can't fake what they don't feel. They can't lie to fit in. They can't betray their values for validation because doing so feels like self-abandonment. This internal compass often isolates them. They see through manipulation, dishonesty, and shallow ambition faster than most. They recognize when someone's motives are impure, even behind kind words. That awareness is both gift and curse. It gives them clarity, but costs them comfort. It's why they sometimes appear distant or reserved. They're not judging, they're filtering. Every person and decision must align with their truth, or it simply won't last. Integrity is also what allows them to stay calm when others lose themselves in chaos. They don't bend to pressure or compromise for convenience. If something doesn't sit right in their soul, they walk away, no matter how tempting or rewarding it looks on the surface. Their peace of mind is worth more than any opportunity that demands they betray themselves. They've seen what happens when people chase approval at the cost of authenticity, the burnout, the emptiness, the quiet self-hatred, and they refuse to live that way. But what makes the Sigma empath truly rare is that their integrity isn't loud or performative. They don't need to announce it. They live it in the way they treat people when no one's watching, in the way they speak truth even when it shakes the room, and in the way they stay grounded when manipulation tempts them to react. Their integrity protects their energy, it filters out relationships built on illusion, and keeps their life anchored in truth. The Sigma empath may lose people, jobs, or opportunities because of it, but what they keep is far greater: self-respect, and in the end, that quiet alignment between who they are and how they live becomes their greatest strength, a power no one can corrupt or control. Silence as a statement. For the Sigma empath, silence is never empty. It's deliberate. It's the language they use when words no longer hold meaning. They've learned that silence can cut deeper than confrontation, reveal more than confession, and protect more than argument ever could. It's not that they don't know what to say, it's that they've realized not everyone deserves a response. Silence, for them, is a form of emotional clarity, a boundary disguised as stillness. In the past, they explained, defended, and justified themselves, exhausting themselves trying to be understood. But over time, they discovered that explanation is wasted on those committed to misunderstanding, so they stopped. Now, when something feels off, when energy shifts, or when manipulation creeps in, they respond with calm detachment instead of debate. Their silence confuses those who thrive on chaos, because it removes the supply of reaction that fuels control. This kind of silence is powerful. It doesn't beg, it doesn't chase, it doesn't retaliate, it simply withdraws, leaving the other person face to face with their own behavior. The Sigma empath silence says, "I see you," without uttering a word. It holds a mirror up to others, forcing them to confront their own noise. And while it may seem like retreat, it's actually the highest form of strength, choosing peace over performance. In that stillness, they find themselves again. They can hear their intuition without interference, feel their emotions without distortion, and rebuild their energy without intrusion. Silence becomes sacred ground, a space for truth to breathe. It's where they recharge, reset, and rise again, more centered and unshakable than before. To outsiders, their silence might look like indifference, but it's the opposite. It's awareness in its purest form, an act of self-preservation that honors both emotion and wisdom. The Sigma empath doesn't silence out of spite, they silence to stay aligned. They know that sometimes walking away quietly says everything, because in a world addicted to noise, silence isn't weakness, it's mastery. It's the sound of someone who no longer needs to prove, convince, or explain, only to be. The Strength of Solitude. For the Sigma empath, solitude isn't loneliness, it's sanctuary. It's the sacred space where they recalibrate after absorbing too much of the world. While most people fear being alone, they crave it, because solitude is where their truth gets louder. It's where they shed the noise of others' emotions, detach from the chaos of expectations, and reconnect to the calm rhythm of their own mind. In solitude, they aren't escaping life, they're rebuilding their alignment with it. To outsiders, their need for isolation can look cold or detached, but it's actually where their empathy heals. Every conversation, every energy exchange leaves a trace, and solitude is the only way they can cleanse those imprints. It's not withdrawal, it's maintenance. The Sigma empath knows that to show up authentically in the world, they must first return to themselves. Fully, quietly, and without interruption, their solitude becomes both armor and renewal. During these moments of stillness, their mind sharpens. They see patterns more clearly, not just in others, but within themselves. They confront their fears, process their emotions, and refine their vision. This introspection is what gives them their depth and unshakable presence. It's why they can walk through storms calmly while others panic, because they've already faced every kind of storm in their own silence. Solitude also teaches them self-sufficiency. They don't rely on constant validation or companionship to feel whole. Their peace comes from within, built through hours of self-reflection, learning, and creation. While others fill their emptiness with distraction, the Sigma empath fills theirs with purpose. It's in those quiet hours that they plan, dream, and rebuild, not to impress, but to evolve. The strength of their solitude lies in its duality. It's both soft and powerful, introspective and strategic. It's where their sensitivity transforms into self-mastery. They emerge from isolation, not detached from humanity, but more balanced, more discerning, more whole. And when they return to the world, they carry that calm like a shield, grounded, untouchable, and quietly radiant. Because for the Sigma empath, solitude isn't the absence of connection, it's the foundation of it. It's the invisible process that allows them to give deeply without losing themselves, to love clearly without confusion, and to live peacefully in a world that never stops demanding more. Boundaries as protection, not isolation. For the Sigma empath, boundaries are not walls, they're filters. They don't build them to shut the world out, but to protect the peace they fought hard to earn. For years, they gave without limits, listening, healing, and carrying emotions that weren't theirs to bear. But over time, they learned that empathy without boundaries is self-destruction disguised as love. So now, they protect their energy like oxygen, quietly, firmly, and without apology. Their boundaries are subtle but unshakable. You won't see them argue or explain, you'll just feel the quiet shift, the unanswered message, the calm disengagement, the subtle distance that says you no longer have access. It's not punishment, it's preservation. Sigma empaths know that not everyone deserves unlimited entry into their emotional space. Some people take comfort in chaos, and the empath refuses to rent out their peace as a shelter for it. In protecting themselves, they're not isolating, they're curating. Every boundary they set is a declaration of self-worth. It says, my energy is valuable, and I will no longer trade it for approval or guilt. And while others might mistake that for coldness, it's actually clarity. It's the recognition that love and access are not the same thing, that sometimes the most compassionate act is distance. Boundaries also help them see people's true intentions. When they stop saying yes to everything, those who were only there for convenience disappear. What's left are genuine connections, people who respect their pace, their silence, and their emotional independence. The Sigma empath understands that relationships built on guilt collapse, but those rooted in respect endure. Though their boundaries are not barriers to connection, they're pathways to balance. They allow the Sigma empaths to stay open-hearted without being open-wounded. They can care deeply without drowning, help others without losing themselves, and listen without absorbing pain. Because when an empath finally learns that saying no is also an act of love, the kind that protects both giver and receiver, they stop fearing solitude and start mastering self-respect. In the end, their boundaries don't isolate them, they define them. They're not walls to keep people out, they're doors that only open to those who knock with honesty. Peace as power. For the Sigma empath, peace is not the absence of conflict, it's the mastery of it. It's the calm that remains when manipulation fails, when noise fades, and when control no longer works. They've realized that real power doesn't roar, it whispers. It's in the way they walk away from chaos without bitterness, in the way they protect their energy like sacred ground. Peace, for them, is not passive, it's a choice made from deep understanding and hard-earned clarity. Once, they fought to be understood, to heal what was broken, to fix the unfixable, but after years of emotional overextension, they learned that peace is not something the world gives you, it's something you build within yourself. It's found in silence, in boundaries, in letting go without needing closure. That kind of peace is unshakable because it doesn't depend on who stays or who leaves. It's built entirely on self-awareness and spiritual grounding. This peace is their power because it disarms everything that once controlled them. Manipulators can't provoke it. Drama can't sustain itself in its presence. When they stop reacting, the entire dynamic changes. The chaos loses its audience. The Sigma empath becomes untouchable not by force, but by serenity. They don't need revenge or validation. Their peace becomes the ultimate answer, the final word in a conversation they no longer feel the need to have. And make no mistake, this peace isn't weakness. It's quiet confidence, emotional intelligence, and the art of staying centered in a world built on distraction. It's knowing that real strength is not in domination, but in detachment. It's walking through the noise of life with grace, knowing that not everything deserves a response, and not everyone deserves a place in their energy field. Peace gives the Sigma empath a kind of magnetism, an aura of stability that others crave but rarely understand. It's the mark of someone who has faced every storm and now refuses to be moved by wind. Because when peace becomes your default, you stop chasing understanding and start radiating wisdom. You stop reacting to the world, and the world starts reacting to you. That is the moment the Sigma empath becomes truly powerful. Not loud, not dominant, but free. When the world finally quiets, the Sigma empath doesn't crave noise again. They protect that silence like gold. Because peace, once earned, becomes the greatest luxury in a chaotic world. If this message resonated with you, it's probably because you've walked that same quiet path, the one where strength no longer looks like fighting, but like letting go. Take a breath. You've come further than you think. You've learned to protect your peace, to choose stillness over struggle, and to rebuild from within, and that's what makes you unstoppable. If you felt seen in this video, make sure to subscribe to Brainy Empath. Join a growing community of empaths and deep thinkers learning how to stay powerful without losing their softness. We're building something rare here, a space for people who feel deeply but stand firmly. Drop a comment below. Tell me, what does peace mean to you now that you've learned to protect it? I'll be reading every word.